What's up, guys? I'm back like I never left. In this video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 penny stocks to watch as we go in September. I'm going to go in detail to talk about these companies, what is their FDA related news coming out, what is the price point that we can use to get involved in these companies, and what are the areas that we can use to risk off of as we get involved in these companies. Guys, I'm going to explain all this important information coming up. Alright guys, so before we get into the video, make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions, any comments, make sure you drop in the comment section below, guys. So just to give you guys a heads up of what happened within our last month picks, we had MCRB which did a really phenomenal job. It actually went from below $5 and went all the way at the top the first time, and then they announced their related news. It went way above $30, close to $33, and now it's sitting at $24. So this really does not happen that much because the stock really shot up to the upside. Of course, ARK Invest is the main investors that bought into this company, but you have to be really aware that this is just not occurring every single time when a company releases their FDA related news. And also another company that we covered on our last picks was ETON. This was by far my favorite one because it was trending to the upside. It was about to break the $750 area, and it definitely broke out to the upside and hit close to $9, and it pulled back the downside because they postponed the FDA related news. Even though the stock spiked up significantly, they announced that they're going to postpone it to September 29th. So they're going to be expecting to announce a PDFU, the result, if they approve their drugs or not, by September 29th. So there's also going to be news coming out on September 29th. So the stock can also potentially break out again to the upside. So definitely keep an eye on this company. And as you see over here from this company, also what makes it special is the insider ownership is increased for 33.17%. The overall share outstanding is 21 million shares available. The share of the float is 14.17 million, and out of all of that, institutions own 32.6% of that, and insider transaction is 15.55%. So the stock's been definitely trending to the upside, so definitely keep an eye on this company also for a second run to the upside, guys. So now let's move on to the top 5 penny stocks that we need to watch out for September. So the first stock that we're going to be looking at is going to be ticker symbol AGEN. Now this company has also been really trending to the upside. As you can see, it's about to break out, which is close to the $4.50 area. There's the potential for it to spike up to the upside if they have a positive news that they can release, if the FDA says something positive about this company. And the date that they're expecting to release this press release is going to be on September 18, 2020. So we expect the stock to either spike up to the upside or pull back to the downside when they announce that news. And the share outstanding for this company is 169 million shares available, and the share of the float is 152.92 million. And out of all these shares, institution own 49.5% of that, and insiders own 9.6% of that. So if you believe the stock's going to spike up, what you can do is you can use the $4 area as support, which is when it had a slight pullback. The $4 area is where the price action and price really respect the $4. And anticipation, your first profit target is when it breaks out of the $4.50, and it could possibly hit like $4.85. So mainly you need to understand that when you're trading these companies, when you're getting involved in it, I usually personally take profits as soon as possible. When the stock gaps up, like, that's it. You just sell out and just move on to another company. But holding these companies for continuation, even though institutions might buy them and things like that, it is super risky. When you look at MCRB stock, even ARK Invest bought it, but of course had really continuation to the upside too, but still pulled back. So you need to really be able to have a solid plan and understand that these companies are not going to forever going to go to the upside. Just lock in your profits if you have faith in the company. Maybe sell half your shares and leave the rest for the long-term investment if you believe in the company, guys. So now let's move on to the second stock. The second stock that we're going to be looking at is going to be ticker symbol BTSM. Now this company's share outstanding is 165.4 million shares, and the share of the float is 158.91 million shares, and institution owned 48.6%, and insiders own 1%, and insider transactions has declined by negative 58.53%. As you can see, the stock really has been beaten down. It had a huge gap down to the downside, so it's usually a great opportunity for us because you're buying it at a very cheap price. even though that is not a good case. But if they can come out and say that they had really solid reports from the FDA, the stock can definitely recover some of the massive losses that occurred within the past few months. So the FDA date for this company is going to be September 16, 2020. So if there's a positive news that came out, and if they say something that is significant, the stock can definitely spike up to the upside. Even though the share of the float is a little bit higher, the stock can definitely make a move. But our first profit target for this company is going to be close to $1.80 area over here, and our risk is going to be close to the $1 area over here. So we're risking the $1 area. If the stock price goes or approaches that before September 16, you can definitely decide to get involved in it, or decide to cut your losses and get involved in it. But after the FDA announcement, if you want to hold through it, if you don't see any kind of anticipation rally to the upside, you can definitely sell off and just move on to another company, guys. So this is kind of risky company to get involved in, as you can see over here, because the overall trend is to the downside. So make sure that you have really solid risk management in place before you get involved in this company, guys. So now let's move on to the third company. Before we move on to the third company, guys, make sure you smash the like button if you're new to the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you have any questions. Make sure you drop in the comment section below, guys. So the third company we're going to be looking at is going to be ticker symbol MNK. Now for this company, the share outstanding is 84.5 million, and the share of the float is 82.7 million, and institution ownership is 66.6, and insiders own 0.7% of those shares available. So that is really, really important, because I talk about all the share outstanding, the share of the float, because if the shares available to the public is lower, the stock can definitely make huge moves, because supply and demand can definitely be skewed up to one direction or not, and the stock can make a big move, guys. So that's why it's really important to understand that the shares available can really determine how the stock behaves when these news comes out. So the date that this company is going to be announcing the FDA related news is going to be September 12th, and that is going to be the final date they're going to pass their drug, and that is the PDUFA date. So with the past few weeks that we saw, the FDA really postponing some of the approval dates for some of the drugs, I think it's because of the COVID-19, and they are definitely just focusing on companies that are working on vaccines, and they're approving their tests and things like that, instead of just having all these other companies that are working on non-related medications. They're not really giving them their attention that they need. So we never know what might say. They might postpone it, just like what they did on LPCN. We're going to talk about LPCN later on. So even though this is the final date, even though the majority of the time this company went through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, it's the last stage, the FDA might come out and say like, hey, we still need more time to do a lot of stuff with we need a lot of time, to go through with the approval process, so you need to be super careful when you get involved in it. So now let's look at exactly what is the price point that we can get involved in this company. So as you can see over here, there's also a gap up over here, so that is a good thing to see, because if the price starts to spike up to the upside, it can definitely go and try to fill the gap over here. So it can definitely go to $2.20, but the risk area that we can use is going to be close to $1.50 area over here, and we can get involved in it if you decide to get involved with it right now. And if the stock's price approaches $150, goes below that, you can definitely try to cut your losses quickly, because you don't want to hold these companies when they're trending to the downside, because the overall trend is to the downside, so they can have a really, really big drop to the downside. So if they start to spike up again, though, that's another case too, which is going to be super positive for us. It can rally up to $2.20, guys. And also the shortfall for this company is 55.42%. So a lot of short sellers are betting that the stock's going to go down to the downside. So this is a positive and a negative, because if the FDA comes out and says positive things about this company, it might spike up, and that can really trigger a short squeeze. Basically, these short sellers need to buy their shares back, so that can potentially fuel up a spike to the upside. On the other hand, when the stock gaps up or it starts to trend to the upside, these short sellers might come and keep shorting the stock over and over again. That might drive the stock price to go to the downside too. So it's like a double-edged sword when you have a lot of the shares shorted by short sellers, guys. So keep in mind that important information, guys. Now let's move on to the fourth company. The fourth company we're going to be looking at is going to be ticker symbol AEZS. Now this company's share outstanding is 23.52 million, and the share of the float is 21.85 million, and the institutional ownership is 21.4%. and insiders own 0.60%, guys. So one of the important things that we need to pay attention to for this company is, as you can see, the share of the float is really relatively lower than the past 3 companies that we talked about. So this can definitely be a huge move that can happen with this company if the positive news comes out and negative news comes out. So as you can see over here, the stock has really been beaten down, and the lows that it ever went to, the lows that it went is 0.4 cents, and right now it's trading at 0.47 cents. So if positive news comes out, the stock might gap up to at least 0.5 cents, but this company can definitely break out of that area too, because the share of the float is really lower. So if there's a lot of demand come for this company, the stock can definitely spike up if there's positive news that can come out from the FDA related news that can come out. So the FDA related news is going to be coming out in September 5th 2020, guys. So definitely keep an eye on this company for potential move to the upside or to the downside, and the risk area is also going to be a 40 cents area because that is the low that it made. And our first profit target, if it gaps up to like above 50 cents area, that is going to be the area we're going to be taking our profits. And also for this company, the shares that are shorted right now is 7.79%. So keep in mind that important information too. Now let's move on to the 5th company again. So the 5th company that we talked about is going to be LPCN. So I covered this company in last month X2. The stock has been trending really phenomenal, and if you got involved in it and as early as possible when we made that video and you wrote it, you can actually make a profit. But however, of course, that's not the case. Nobody can time like perfect entries and exits. We're expecting the stock to spike up to the upside when the FDA news comes out. However, the stock just continued to drop to the downside. So it's really quite interesting to see when the stock pulled back when there is an expected positive news that could come out pretty soon. So that was quite interesting thing that happened with LPCN, and it pulled back to $1.50 area, and it bounced back close to 20-25% to the upside. And of course, on Friday, they announced that they're going to be postponing their FDA related news. So they said that they're going to be announcing the results, and they're going to be saying that the FDA is going to probably approve, that their drug that you're trying to pass within the next few weeks. So they're in the final stage. They're in a PDUFE date. So we don't know exactly when, but they said in a few weeks. So definitely keep an eye on for this company. But however, on Monday, the stock is probably going to open right around $1.40. So the risk area for potentially entry for it is going to be, if you're going to risking $1.30 area or $1.20 area, is going to be the area you can risk off of to get involved in it right now. But there's definitely potential for this company. It's been trending to the upside, and of course, they knew something that was coming out and they started selling it. And also the company did an offering that made the stock to drop to the downside a little bit. But just to refresh your memories, the share outstanding for this company is 65.5 million shares. The share of the float is 63 million shares, and the insider transaction increased by 42.31%, and institutional ownership is only 6.6%, and insider ownership is only 1.1%, and the share of the float that is shorted is only 4.04%. So there's not a lot of short sellers, and we just expect the company to really trend to the upside if there's positive news that can come out if their drug gets approved. But we'll see how this thing is going to unfold, guys. So now let's move on to what are important economic reports that can potentially affect the stock market for tomorrow. We don't have any specific economic reports. There's non-scheduled, so definitely there's going to be no reports that can affect the stock market, guys. So that's going to be for this video, guys. If you want to get involved in these companies, guys, make sure you have a solid plan. When you're going to risk, when you're going to take your profits. I covered all that important information for you, but that's just my personal opinion. But if you want to hold it, if you want to size up on it and things like that, that's up to you. But make sure to understand that these companies are super risky, and you have a solid plan before you get involved in it. That's going to help you to make the decisions. If you get involved in it and you don't have a plan, you're going to be stuck with a lot of issues, so you might end up in a bad situation and you don't know what to do. But if you made your decisions ahead of time, you can definitely be able to execute it, so without any emotions. So keep in mind that important information, guys. If you're new to this channel, guys, make sure you subscribe. If you like the video, make sure you smash the like button. If you have any comments, any questions, make sure you drop in the comment section below. Also, if you want to sign up for Webull, there's going to be a link in the description box below. You can sign up, deposit $100, you can get 2 free stocks, and also a link in the description box for Patreon if you want to support the channel, and Discord if you want to join the Discord, there is available too. But I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.